What happens when the ultimate apex predator, a Gilded Age billionaire who
Mhm.
thinks his money can literally buy the world, suddenly realizes he has become the prey?
Yeah, that is the perfect way to frame this.
Right. So you sent us this text to look into, an excerpt from a 1917 story called The Gateway Through the Dragon Glass by Abraham Merritt.
I did, yeah.
And I have to tell you, it completely blew my mind. It starts out as this impossible locked room mystery, but rapidly evolves into a really wild exploration of imperial greed.
It really does.
So imagine this. A billionaire disappears from his heavily guarded, locked Fifth Avenue bedroom. No ransom note, no forced entry, total silence.
Just gone.
Exactly. And a short time later, he materializes back in that exact same locked room. But he is wearing shreds of an unknown, bizarre silk, and his chest is ripped open by horrific, deep claw marks.
Like he was just mauled by a tiger.
Right, an impossible tiger. And the wildest part of all this, he absolutely refuses to tell the doctors what just happened to him.
Which completely subverts the usual detective story setup. You have a man who has surrounded himself with all the security and isolation that immense wealth can buy.
Right.
And it means absolutely nothing against whatever tracked him into that room. The violence is so visceral, and his silence suggests that whatever he encountered is something he either fears too much to name.
Or feels too much pride to admit defeated him.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because before we can even begin to understand this bizarre disappearance in the claw marks, we have to look at the ultimate imperial scale burglary that set this whole chain of events into motion.
We do.
Our billionaire's name is Jim Herndon. And Jim has just been participating in the looting of the Forbidden City in Peking alongside the Allies during the suppression of the Boxer Rebellion.
We should probably pause on that historical backdrop for a second because it really frames Herndon's entire worldview.
For sure.
The year is 1900. An alliance of 8 foreign nations has essentially smashed its way into Beijing to put down an anti-imperialist uprising. And the aftermath turned into a literal free-for-all. You had soldiers and civilians from all over the world just, walking into ancient Chinese palaces and taking centuries of royal history.
It's wild to think about.
It is. And the text doesn't shy away from the sheer brazen scale of this. Herndon describes it as the most gorgeous burglar party since the days of Tamerlane.
Wow. Referencing the 14th century conqueror famous for brutally sacking entire cities, right?
Yep. He even compares the Allied forces to Goths sacking imperial Rome or Alexander the Great's armies pillaging Tyre.
He's elevating thievery to something mythological.
Actually.
It is so jarring to read. It's like a bizarre, hyper-militarized version of a supermarket sweep, but with zero accountability.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You have soldiers wandering around with their pockets bulging with centuries-old treasures, wearing priceless necklaces over their uniforms, and Herndon is right there with them, leveraging his wealth.
Oh, yeah, he's using a private yacht to haul away as much of the Chinese emperor's treasure as he possibly can.
But what strikes me is how casual he is about it.
Hmm.
He treats these ancient, sacred artifacts as mere souvenirs. He gives some away to ladies he wants to impress. He uses the rest to decorate 2 lavish Chinese rooms in his New York mansion.
Right, right.
And then, and this part got me, he donates a little bit of it to the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Well, that donation is a crucial psychological detail in the text. It notes he follows a vague religious impulse by doing this.
A religious impulse.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, by donating a fraction of his stolen goods to a prestigious museum, he feels it puts a stamp of legitimacy on his pillage.
Ah, I see.
It's basically early 20th century billionaire reputation washing. He uses philanthropy to launder the morality of how the loot was acquired.
That makes sense.
It's akin to offering tribute to the gods, hoping it absolves him of the fact that he just helped ransack a civilization.
But there is one item he does not give away, and he certainly doesn't put it in a public display room.
No, he doesn't.
During the looting, Herndon and his men are wandering through the throne room and take the side passage. They find a small, nondescript octagonal room.
And it looks mostly empty, right?
Exactly. There's nothing in there except a squatting jade figure facing the wall. One of his men tries to pry it up, slips, and smashes the jade figure against the wall.
Oops.
Yeah, big mistake. Or maybe not, because the moment it breaks, a secret panel swings open.
They accidentally bypass an ancient lock, basically, and it reveals a secret crypt shaped like a cylinder.
And what's inside?
Well, the first thing they see is a highly specific, deeply cryptic mural. It depicts a floating island with clouds lapping at its edges like a frozen seas full of rainbows.
Wow, that imagery is intense.
It is. And out of this island rises a massive pyramid-shaped mountain circled by 7 moons. And hovering over the peak of this mountain is a face.
Right, and Herndon describes that face as older than the world and as young as tomorrow. It's cruel and kindly, saturnine as Satan, joyous as Apollo.
A total walking contradiction.
Yeah. But the detail that really sticks out, the feature you cannot ignore, are the eyes.
The yellow eyes.
Yes. The eyes of this face are as yellow as buttercups, and they are, as Herndon notes, as wise as fate.
It's such an arresting, intimidating image. It's clearly meant to be a warning, but that mural is really just the backdrop for the actual discovery.
Right.
Because inside this crypt, shrouded under a hood, is the dragon glass.
And the description of this artifact in the source material is stunning, but it's the mechanics of it that I find so compelling.
Definitely.
Imagine a mirror, but instead of reflective glass, it's a cool, green, glimmering translucence.
Like staring into a pool.
Yeah, it's like swimming underwater on a still summer day and looking up toward the light. It's an oval slice of polished stone. Around the edges, serving as the frame, are 12 exquisitely detailed dragons with emerald eyes, ivory fangs, and gold claws.
And at the base of the glass is the focal point. A disc of topaz rimmed with red fire shooting up these dusky little vaporous yellow flames. And wrapped around that topaz sphere is a 13th dragon. This one is entirely different. It's thin, red, and it is biting its own scorpion-tipped tail.
The Ouroboros.
Exactly, a symbol of a closed loop, an eternity that must somehow be broken to unlock whatever this object really is.
What's crazy isn't just the craftsmanship, though. It's how Herndon reacts to it the very second he lays eyes on it. It's not just an appreciation of art. It's a compulsion.
What's fascinating here is the immediate, intoxicating effect the artifact has on him. The text says he knew instantly he had to have it, and he knew he would have it.
Just undeniable greed.
But it actually bypasses mere financial greed. Herndon explicitly states that he felt the object itself was alive. He felt a magnetic pull, believing that he didn't want to get the thing away any more than the thing itself wanted to get away.
Like he wanted him to take it.
Yes. The artifact commands his possessiveness.
It's almost parasitic, right? It targets his specific weakness, his absolute entitlement. He thinks he's choosing the glass, but the glass is clearly choosing him.
That's a great way to put it.
Taking the artifact out of that secret crypt is one thing, though. Getting it home reveals that Herndon didn't just steal an antique. He stole a doorway.
And that brings us to the really unsettling journey home on his yacht.
Yeah, this part gave me chills. He has the dragon glass secured in his stateroom, the door is unlocked, and he hears a sharp whistle of indrawn breath behind him.
He turns around to find his boat steward, a man named Wu Sing.
Right. Now, up until this exact moment, Herndon has viewed Wu Sing as entirely unremarkable, perhaps even unintelligent, speaking only what Herndon dismissively calls atrocious pidgin English.
But the mask completely drops. The subservient demeanor is wiped from Wu Sing's face like a sponge clearing a chalkboard.
Yeah, it's an instant change.
He stands up straight, looks the billionaire in the eye, and speaks to Herndon in absolutely perfect, polished English.
And what does he say?
He asks, has the master augustly counted the cost of his possession?
It is a chilling pivot. Wu Sing proceeds to warn Herndon about a figure named Hao Zan, launching into a story Herndon recognizes from his past travels in Tibet.
Yeah, where the teacher was known by a different name, Rak the Wonder Worker.
We have to get into the lore of Rak, because it explains the mechanics of everything that happens next.
Please do.
According to this legend, Rak was an impossibly powerful being born near the beginning of creation. But he wasn't satisfied just being a spectator to the universe. He wanted to create things himself.
And he got dangerously good at it, apparently.
So good that the greatest wonder worker banished him to a place entirely outside of our world.
Rak was essentially given a cosmic sandbox, right? A domain outside of reality.
Exactly.
He built a great mountain and a city called Lalil on its flank, surrounded by these wonderful, terrible gardens. He set 7 moons around the mountain's brow as a diadem.
But here's where the magic system gets really dark.
Yeah, behind the mountain, Rak fanned what are called the Fires of Life. The legend states that the 7 moons pass through these fires eternally to be reborn, and they drag the souls of Rak's people with them.
That's terrifying.
If the 7 moons of Rak shine upon you, you are bound to Lalil, forcibly reincarnating through those fires for 10,000 lives.
10,000 lives trapped in someone else's terrarium.
Yes. And then Wu Sing drops the hammer. He says Rak caused a great marvel to be wrought. The gateway.
He points right at the dragon glass and essentially dares Herndon, saying, "What shall he who has a gateway do but pass through it?"
It's such a great line.
But the detail that elevates this from a spooky campfire story to a genuine threat happens next. As Wu Sing is speaking, he looks into Herndon's eyes, and for just a fraction of a second, Wu Sing's eyes turn as yellow as buttercups.
They are the exact same ancient, wise eyes from the face in the crypt's mural.
The realization hits Herndon like a physical blow.
Yeah.
The ancient god, Rak himself, is looking at him right through the steward's face.
He is using Wu Sing as a temporary conduit.
And then just as quickly, the connection severs. Wu Sing's face sags back into its dull lines, his eyes cloud over, and he reverts completely to his usual subservient demeanor, claiming to have no idea what Herndon is yelling about.
It's like waking up from a trance.
Now, hold on. I have to push back on the narrative logic here for a second.
Oh, go for it.
If Wu Sing is possessed or acting as a conduit for this impossibly powerful ancient god, why let Herndon walk away with the glass at all?
That's a very fair question.
Why not just strike him down in the crypt in Peking? Is this a genuine warning from the universe to turn back? Or is Rak actively laying a honeypot trap for an arrogant thief?
I think that is the brilliant tension at the heart of the story. Is it a trap or is it a psychological challenge?
Right.
You have to look at it through the lens of Rak's boredom and Herndon's ego. For a man like Herndon, a Gilded Age conqueror used to treating the world as a catalog to order from, a warning is entirely indistinguishable from a dare.
Wow, yes.
Telling Jim Herndon that a door is dangerous is the absolute best way to guarantee he opens it.
Right. His curiosity and his massive ego completely override his survival instinct. And that arrogance leads directly to the sleepless night in his Fifth Avenue bedroom when the dragon glass finally wakes up.
Yeah, he has actually set the glass up with special dramatic lighting in his room so he can just sit and stare at it.
Naturally.
One night, he turns off the main lights, turns on the display, and watches. And the lock mechanism finally gives way.
The mechanics of the portal opening are hypnotic. It's not a sudden flash, it's a gradual, mesmerizing acceleration.
The 12 dragons begin to crawl around the perimeter of the glass, moving faster and faster.
And the 13th red dragon spins wildly around that topaz globe. They accelerate until they become a blur, a halo of crimson and gold flashes, and the cool green glass itself dissolves.
The solid stone turns into a hazy green mist.
Herndon walks up to it, and in a moment of pure hubris, he literally sticks his arm straight into the mist up to his shoulder.
Which is insane to think about doing.
Completely insane. He feels nothing until suddenly warm little hands grasp his fingers.
Oh, wow.
He steps completely through the frame of the mirror, crossing the threshold from New York into somewhere else entirely. He feels a hand touch his face, and he meets a woman on the other side. A woman he later calls Santhu.
The visual contrast between Herndon's sterile, modern New York bedroom and Santhu is striking. She's described as having eyes as blue as cornflowers, with long blue-black braids slipping through the paws of a golden dragon crown on her head.
And another golden dragon girding her waist.
Exactly. She is part of the architecture of this new world.
She pulls him forward into the realm of Rak, and the environment they step into is completely alien.
It's highly surreal.
They walk out of a cleft in two soft green rocks into a sky of chrysoprase, this pale, sickly apple green color. They see the enormous pyramid mountain pulsing with rose-colored light and a huge globe of green fire, one of the 7 moons swimming over it.
And the vegetation is surreal, too. Immense trees with feathery plumes shining with actual fire, glowing flowers, and pools of carved stone filled with water as thick and yellow as amber.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the sensory experience here is incredibly overwhelming, but if you look closely, it's deeply stagnant.
It really is a twisted Eden.
They eat fruit from the trees that sustains them without hunger. They drink the sparkling water. They sleep in a little glowing ivory house.
But there is no real day or night, only the eternal, unchanging green glow of the circling moons. And most notably, there is no real communication.
They never actually speak a word to each other.
No, they don't.
So what does this all mean? To me, when you read about this environment, it sounds exactly like the 1917 version of doom scrolling, or being plugged into a perfectly curated metaverse.
Oh, that's a brilliant comparison.
It's a hypnotic, eternal vacation designed to make you slowly, comfortably forget your own free will.
Yeah.
You're eating magic fruit, hanging out in a glowing garden, and you just stop caring about your agency. You surrender to the comfort of the cage.
The insidious nature of Rak's trap is its frictionless beauty. You don't fight back because you don't realize you're a prisoner.
Right.
Herndon notes that a spell of silence was upon him, that there seemed to be nothing left to say. They communicate only through Santhu's wordless songs.
She sings these melodies that literally project images into his brain.
Yes, she shows him the history of the realm, how Rak built the mountain, and she shows him the mist that trails behind the moons full of these tangled stars.
And those tangled stars are the horrific reality behind the beautiful sky.
They are!
Herndon realizes through her song that those stars are the souls of Rak's people, trapped in the mist, marching mindlessly into the fires to seek rebirth over and over for 10,000 lives.
Such a grim existence.
Even worse, he realizes he himself has been here before, ages past, as one of those very stars fighting to break away from the cycle.
It's the ultimate realization of powerlessness. But just as he grasps the horror of this eternal stagnation, the illusion of safety shatters.
The architect of this gilded cage decides it is time to make his presence known.
And the cosmic game of cat and mouse begins.
Herndon and Santhu are wandering the garden, and suddenly a man appears on the path before them. He is very tall, his face is that contradiction of cruel and kind, and he has those unmistakable buttercup yellow eyes.
It's Rak.
It's him. And the moment Herndon sees him in the flesh, the pacifying spell completely breaks. He is hit with a desperate, overwhelming urge to escape, to run back to the doorway.
But he refuses to leave Santhu.
He grabs her hand, and they sprint for the cleft in the green rocks.
But Rak doesn't chase them himself. He wouldn't stoop to running.
Of course not.
Instead, he unleashes a nightmare from the sky. Winging down through the green air comes a beast that Herndon describes as an unthinkable horror. Beautiful but lethal, arrayed in purple and scarlet.
It folds its wings and dives at Herndon like a monstrous gleaming spear.
But just as this nightmare beast is about to impale him, a net of rainbow mist materializes out of thin air between them.
It baffles the beast, it shrieks in frustration and swerves away.
Right, and Herndon and Santhu keep running. The beast regroups and strikes again and again. The rainbow mist saves them at the last possible millisecond.
Herndon realizes this isn't a rescue, this is a game.
Yeah, Rak is casting the mist to protect Herndon, purely to tease the monster and to play with Herndon's hope.
It is an act of supreme, divine cruelty. Rak is asserting his absolute dominance over the entire ecosystem, the beast, the environment, and Herndon's life.
He is mocking the human's pathetic attempt to escape. He's treating Herndon the exact same way Herndon treats the artifacts he loots, as a plaything, a trinket for his amusement.
It's karma delivered by a god. And eventually the game ends. They are just steps from the portal cleft. The beast swoops down one last time, and Rak simply stops throwing the mist.
The player gets bored.
Santhu tries to throw herself in front of the beast to save Herndon. The creature swerves sharply to avoid her, but its outstretched claw strikes Herndon a glancing blow across the chest.
And he falls backward through leagues of green space and violently wakes up back in his locked Fifth Avenue bedroom.
And that physical wound brings us right back to the beginning of the mystery. It is the anchor that proves the story's reality.
It really is.
Yeah.
When Herndon is recounting this entire ordeal to his friend Ward back in New York, he opens his dressing gown to show the undeniable proof.
The 7 claw marks.
Yes. Across his chest are 7 healing furrows, looking as though they have been plowed into his flesh by a gigantic steel comb.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Let's look at the mechanics of that strike.
Okay.
When the beast dives, it actively swerves to avoid Santhu. As Herndon himself realizes, she is a natural creature of that world. The beast, and by extension, Rak's magic cannot or will not harm her.
It's a great point.
The danger, the violence, the cosmic punishment was entirely focused on the human interloper.
It highlights a brilliant thematic point. Herndon is an invasive entity in that ecosystem. He doesn't belong there.
Exactly.
He broke in using an artifact he stole, just like he broke into the crypt in Peking. He tried to claim a piece of Rak's world, and the god of that realm treated him like a virus and violently ejected him.
Which brings us to the aftermath and the absolutely astonishing final decision Herndon makes. Think about it. If you survived an attack by an apocalyptic beast in an alternate dimension, and you made it back to your safe, heavily guarded mansion, you would smash the doorway into a million pieces.
Oh, absolutely. Ward, his friend, literally begs him to break the dragon glass, calling it a devilish illusion.
But to prove it isn't just an illusion or a hallucination, Herndon turns off the bedroom lights and activates the glass while Ward is standing right next to him.
And Ward looks into the infinite green depths of the mist and sees it.
What does he see?
He sees a gigantic claw with 7 talons reaching through the cleft, opening and closing, just waiting.
Yeah, that's so creepy.
And he sees the Pyramid Mountain, the yellow-eyed face hovering above it. The threat is undeniably real, and it is actively waiting at the threshold to finish the job.
But Herndon refuses to break the glass. He tells Ward that destroying the portal would condemn Santhu to the 10,000 lives of Rack's reincarnation cycle.
So what does this billionaire do?
He goes to his closet and pulls out 2 heavy-bore elephant guns, the exact same high-powered rifles he used on his last safari.
Just complete madness.
He arms himself, covers his bandages, and prepares to walk right back through the portal. He leaves a will, giving his entire estate and the dragon glass to Ward if he doesn't return, and he steps back through the mist to save Santhu.
This raises an important question, and it's the core philosophical dilemma of the entire narrative. What is the true nature of Herndon's obsession here?
Yeah, we have to ask ourselves, is he acting out of pure, selfless love to rescue Santhu? Or is this the ultimate toxic manifestation of his conqueror's ego?
Exactly. He is a Gilded Age man who looted the Forbidden City. He takes what he wants and never apologizes.
Right.
Is this a rescue mission, or is it simply the fact that a billionaire cannot psychologically accept losing a game, even to a literal god?
He believes with a couple of modern elephant guns, he can march into an ancient myth and shoot his way to victory.
It is the absolute pinnacle of hubris. He literally tells Ward, I have an idea that he hasn't full control of things.
Oh, wow. He actually said that.
Yeah, he genuinely thinks he can outgun a wonder worker who builds planets and reincarnates souls.
Unbelievable. As you listen to this, I want you to think about the dragon glasses in your own life. What are the things, whether it's a piece of technology you cannot put down, a blinding professional ambition, or a specific form of escapism, that offer you this endless hypnotic fascination, but might actually be demanding a terrible hidden toll?
That's a profound way to look at it.
What portals are you staring into that might be staring right back, studying your weaknesses?
It's a powerful metaphor for anything that consumes our agency. We often feel we are in complete control of our possessions, our ambitions, our daily habits.
Right.
But the threshold between owning something and being entirely owned by it is remarkably thin. The moment you think you've mastered the artifact is usually the moment it locks you inside the room.
Which leaves us with one final lingering thought to mull over today. We have a realm that is ancient, operating on cosmic cycles of magic, ruled by a god with yellow eyes who treats souls like toys. And we have Jim Herndon, who has just crossed the threshold for the second time, armed to the teeth with modern, high-powered elephant guns, ready to shoot a mythical beast out of the sky.
It's quite the showdown.
So, who is the real invasive species here? Is it the ancient wonder worker manipulating the souls of his own realm?
Or is it the modern billionaire who flat out refuses to be anyone's plaything, even if it means bringing a Gilded Age gunfight into a magical Eden?
Sometimes, the most dangerous thing in a locked room isn't the monster waiting in the dark. It's the man who refuses to stay out of it.